Yo, what's good, homie? It's your boy SicksentZ. Today, I want to talk about something that's going to help you make better decisions as an artist. I'm not going to be talking about a music tool today. It's more on the marketing side of things. And I'm talking about a customer avatar, or what some people will also refer to as a supporter avatar. And this is essentially a document that you're going to make when you're trying to visualize the type of person that would support your music. And it's really important to think about this because when you're figuring out merch, when you're figuring out how to make your website and what it should look like, when you're figuring out branding or anything that's involved with interacting with this person, you want to set it up so that it makes sense for the person in mind. And the customer avatar literally has you write down a lot of the details of this person so you can visualize them in all of your decisions. So rather than you having to start one from scratch, I made one for us to look at today. And we break things up into 4 basic sections. We've got basics, which talk about just general information, lifestyle habits, which talks about some of the hobbies, vices, and purchases that a person makes, sources of information, where they go to get info on a day-to-day basis, and core values. So rather than get too in-depth with these things without having an actual example, I made an example today. And this customer avatar was made with a rapper in mind. So let's say we're talking about a somewhat lyrical rapper. It's not a trap person. He's more of a wordy MC. And we're going to figure out what that person's fan would look like. So I've actually written this stuff already so we don't have to waste too much time. And you'll notice right off the bat, we gave our avatar a name. This avatar's name is Taj Coleman. And don't skip this step. I think if you actually name your avatars, it makes it a lot easier to visualize the type of person that they are. And it reminds you that you're trying to talk about a tangible person. But we've got all these details about Taj listed. We want his age. He's 30 years old. He's married. He has a kid. He works in the tech industry. He lives in the burbs. He's got a bachelor's degree. This is how much money he makes. We have his lifestyle habits written down here. He's into gaming. He's into watching sports and anime. He listens to podcasts. He smokes weed. In terms of his regular purchases, he likes vinyl, memorabilia, electronics, video games. We have a real footprint of all of the things that this person likes to do and does on a daily basis. And this may not seem that important, but it's actually super useful. We have information about his income here, and that might dictate what your merch price point would be. That might dictate what your ticket price point would be when we start to go out and do shows again. He works in the tech industry, so you could start to talk about tech-related topics in your Instagram posts. The point in writing down all this information is to have a good sense of who you're talking to, and these kind of give us some guiding points as to how we should address this person. If you look at the lifestyle habits, this helps us really determine what kind of merch we want to push on this person. They're into vinyl, they're into toys, so maybe you should talk about having your records released on vinyl. They're into toys and memorabilia. Maybe that can be a merch item of yours. Maybe you can 3D print a short run of toys, and that might be more intriguing than pitching a skateboard to this person because they're not a skater, they're not a younger user. It's really all about targeting in on exactly who supports your music and what they look like so you know what to put in front of them. What else is this person into? Where are the other opportunities? They're into food delivery services, home decor. So home decor is another great merch item that you might not be thinking about, but with this person being an older hip hop fan, it might make a lot more sense. I wouldn't suggest that for a Little Pump fan, but somebody who's like a Nas fan, which is, again, like the type of person I see Taj as, they might be into something different. They might be into something that would upgrade their house and not just look cool on a t-shirt. They're probably into subscription content. You know, older folks with some disposable income. We've got Patreon, we've got Netflix, we've got OnlyFans, we've got all this shit that is taken out of our bank accounts on a month-to-month basis. And that means this person's used to that. So rather than charging them a lot for merch, maybe that's something you can offer. Maybe you can have a Patreon. Maybe you can have a subscription fan service. If it's something that they're comfortable with doing already, you might as well try going down that lane. So you can see why it's really, really important to start to break down these different things this person likes. I include a section on brands here. I think that's really important. Knowing that a person like Taj is into Nike and Adidas and Yeezy and Apple and Beats, it starts to give you an idea of the branding techniques that works with this person. So if these brands have a simple format, if you look at Apple, for example, their design is really simple. It's really sleek. It's really tuned in on being minimal. You can take that design approach when you're making your website. All of these things just give you clues as to how your stuff should look, because if it looks like some of these major players, it'll resonate better with this person. The second part of this avatar kind of goes in depth on things like social media networks a person's on. And this is super key. You know, Taj is a 30-year-old male with a kid. He's probably not on TikTok as much as a younger user, but he's probably on Instagram and Twitter a lot. So if you're figuring out where you want to post on a day-to-day basis, you should probably focus your attention there. In terms of their daily hangout spot, you know, the place where they go and just read content all day and don't necessarily post something. Taj is probably on Instagram and Reddit and Discord. So you want to make sure you're active in those channels too. He listens to a bunch of podcasts. He probably listens to something like a Joe Budden pod or All the Smoke. And you want to be well versed in these worlds. That could be something as simple as you engaging in Joe Budden chatter on your Twitter posts. And now Taj is like, holy shit, this rapper that I like is also a fan of the JBP. Like that's dope. That resonates deeper. All this stuff should be organic. You shouldn't go out and just start to pretend to like shows or pretend to like brands because it makes sense. But if you see that there's synergy there, if you see that it's a brand that you organically like anyway, then that's something to talk about. You know, if you're a real artist, and I think we all are, you know, you may be hesitant to post on social media all day, and you probably have that moment where you're sitting in front of your phone like, what do I talk about? Well, these podcasts become things that you can talk about. These hobbies become things that you can talk about. And all of a sudden, you're not just pulling out of thin air and talking about silly topics, but you're actually talking about topics that resonate with your avatar. Last section talks about core values. When you start to think about a person's goal in life and a person's important values in life, it dictates everything from what you write about as an artist to what causes you support. And I think it's really important to know what resonates deeply with people, because our number one jobs as musicians is to make people feel good and to uplift them. And you can't really tell their story and you can't really resonate with them if you don't know what core values they have and what their goals in life are. So someone like Taj, he has a family. He's probably really vested into financial freedom. He probably wants safety for his family. Travel is probably important to him. Home ownership is probably important to him. If you can touch on these topics in your music, if you can touch on these topics in your social media posts, it becomes all the more reason for Taj to call you their favorite rapper or someone that they really like engaging with on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully with all this information, you're starting to understand the importance of a customer avatar. I'm only scratching the surface in how far this goes. And rather than you having to start your own from scratch, which you can do, I'd absolutely encourage that. But I'm also going to leave a link to this one below so you can go ahead and download it. You can clear this out and start to fill in your own customer avatar data and think about the type of person that you think will listen to your music. And if you're having any trouble with this, I love helping folks out with this process. I've done it for a long time. Feel free to book an appointment on my website. We can have a 15-minute Zoom call, pop open a blank sheet, talk about your music, and make an avatar for you, because I think it's something that's really, really helpful. You can make multiple ones if you think you have more than one type of fan. Hopefully we all do. And this is something you can add to. You can add your own sections to. But most importantly, as you progress in your career, as you start to do things like improve your website or set up marketing campaigns, refer to this. When I sit down and schedule my social media posts for the week, I refer to my avatar, because I want to make sure that the things that I'm talking about and the tone that I'm using is in line with the person that I'm trying to holler at. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, I'd love to chat about the marketing side of things. Definitely let me know. Until next time, like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Peace.